Right, Campbell's comments. Been a long day. I've been stuck in. Laurie's getting the the chair out. Start again. Right, Campbell's comments. Been a big day. Been in Wagga all day. I've had a lot of fun catching up with a lot of people. I was going to catch up with you two fine gentlemen early on. Ian, Laurie, firstly, welcome to Campbell's comments again.
Thank you, Paul.
A little bit easier this time. You're not looking into a camera. It's a little bit daunting when you're looking into a small camera, isn't it?
It is for me, yes.
You're not big on this media stuff, are you?
No, I'd sooner ride a horse.
That'll be all right. I'm glad I caught up with you. You guys have got some stuff going on with your camp draft. Mark Barton joins me again. Hello, Barto.
G'day, mate. How are you?
Very good. You could have turned the lights on for us.
Yeah, look, it's actually got a little bit of haze, but they're talking 39 in Wagga tomorrow, so you want to get up early, I think, in the morning.
I'll do my tourist bit for a start. It is a beautiful part of the world, Wagga. It's sensational. I've been up to Junee and some of the sites you can see. Anyone who hasn't been to this area should come to this area. Selling yearlings, and yearlings, we'll get about that in a minute. But I want to talk to Ian firstly about Lombo Paper Talk. I was going to call him the real name. I actually saw his old man there today at Yirribee, but how he's going, where he's progressing, and what you've actually been doing, because you've been a little bit cheeky with some of the things you've actually been able to do with him.
No, he's just improving. He's a great horse, Paper Talk, and he's had his first start camp drafting, which I think most people have seen, and people at Oberon couldn't believe what he could do.
So like a lot of the trotting guys won't have seen it, though I did put a post out about it, but they might not have understood exactly what it meant. And I don't understand the gates, and I'm going to do some more with you guys going forward so people understand the camp draft before February when they actually go under sale. But you missed out by 1 point on 2 runs, is that right, to making the final?
Just on the one run, yes. Yeah, I had a 79, you need an 80 to get in the final, and missed out by a point to get in the final.
So you only missed out on one point. And that was his first time out in any sort of competition?
First time out, yes.
And he is actually a maiden. There's a few of the other horses under Butter that have had races and all this. This was actually his first official start. So how does the 79 or the 80, how is that judged?
Well, I dropped the camp, and in the camp, you can get points up to 26, but I dropped the camp. Instead of getting a 20 or a 21, I only got a 16, and that's where it cost me 4 points. And I got a 60 and 4 for the outside work. And if I wouldn't drop the camp, he'd have had an 84, 85 points.
Right, you're talking to a trotting bloke. What's a camp?
In a yard where you got to ride him in with 7 to 8 or 9 cattle and cut one beast out, take it up the front of the yard and do 3, 4, 5 turns, block your cow and then call for your gate to take him outside to do the stuff outside.
So when you dropped the camp, what does that mean that you did?
I've lost him back. I dropped him to the back of the camp, lost him back once, and if you do it twice, you get cracked off, and it's just a bit of bad luck.
So it's one of the things, and Barty, you probably explained it a little bit better, but I always just see camp drafting, you see guys with a bull running around barrels, but it actually starts prior to that, doesn't it?
Yeah, look, and I think really what it is, it was, where it comes, it's an Australian-owned sport, and the idea was people showing their horsemanship, showing what their horses were able to do on stations, when they were mustering, and they'd generally say, well, look, they'd go in, they'd have to get a steer out. Say, in those days, some of those pastoral guys, they're actually cutting cattle out for sale. So they'd walk in, they'd send in the best stockman with the best cutout horse that could actually take the steers away from the mob that they wanted to put on a truck in the early days when they didn't have the same infrastructure and yards. Then they showed probably even some of those horses that could gallop and actually hold cattle, that scrubbers, cattle that were getting away from a mob, to be able to bring them back to the mob and control those cattle. And I guess it's evolved from that. The thing about good horsemanship is also the ability to actually quietly work in and actually position yourself so you can take cattle quietly away from a mob, which is what people like Ian do every day. So when they actually take it to a sport, it's harder for people like me that don't do it all the time. Ian's on horses most days doing exactly what he does on a weekend for a sport.
So how hard is it to take a horse to an event for the first time and actually to do that? Like, is that the norm, or is it like, I'm not going to try and, I don't want to pump this horse up to be a superstar or anything else like that, but it is something that horses can do on a regular basis, or is it like it is a fair enough feat?
No, not on a regular basis. Like it's a horse the first time out can get stage fright and won't work like they do at home. And for a horse to go that well the first time, it's a big ask. It's a big thing.
And that I go back to, he hasn't raced. And that's one of the key parts about it, is that because he hasn't raced. So you say about stage fright, he hasn't been into the Wagga track. He hasn't done any. He might have. That's probably a lie. He may have been in there for track works or things like that, but he hasn't actually been out to a race meeting and seen the lights and everything else like that. So his first official outing is with you on his back, and he's missed out by 1 point.
And that's very good for him to do that. Yes.
What you'd say is it's the benefit of these horses we're seeing, or I'm feeling, is what they're exposed to as young horses, the education that people do when they go through that training process to get them in a cart, get them used to hobbles, have them in stables regularly. Like you say, you get a horse that's actually comfortable with a cart behind them. A lot of what these guys are doing afterwards, there's a lot of that groundwork that's already done for you. This fella, I think he might have actually qualified at Shepparton as a trialist, but never actually raced.
Yep.
So I guess he's had one outing, but that was, I think his only other claim to fame prior to this was he was the stable mate for Lazarus. He was out in the paddock with Lazarus. So he's had an extended break, and then I think that's what's testament that their mind's good, but the foundation that some of these trainers have put on these horses gives these guys a really good product to start with.
I won't hold you for much longer, Ian, but as a person that's done drafting and achieved the best, you've reached the pinnacle a couple of times in the sport. You're going to undersell yourself, Bardo will oversell yourself, and the likes. How have you found the experience? Like, I'm sure when Mark rang you got off the phone, you probably think clown or something along those lines. But how have you found the experience once you've got these standardbreds and got to work with him? How have you actually found this whole experience?
Actually, I've quite enjoyed it, and it was a lot easier than what I thought. I thought it'd be a bit hard to get him going, but no, he just comes to things easy. Like, our river's been in flood for about a month at home, and we got a little bridge all across, and the water's been over about a foot over the bridge, and I asked him the other day to walk across, and if you slip off the side, you go for a swim, and he's never done that before. Like, he's gone through water, but just to do these things, he's just easy. He just goes and does whatever you want.
Have they surprised you?
It does surprise me. He has surprised me. He's a good horse.
That's one of the key things that we want to do with this New South Wales, what they've done with the rehoming, and I've forgotten the lady's name. You're going to tell me the lady's name in a sec, Bardo, but what they've been able to achieve to try and do something different is key, like for harness racing and for camp drafting as well, because it actually marries the two sports up together. If we get complacent, if everyone gets complacent in life, nothing gets achieved. This is a way of showcasing harness horses to you guys, and what you guys do back to the harness horses.
Look, and I think one of the really important parts is not every horse is going to be a top-end performance horse necessarily to change over and actually win at competition level, but to take them, I didn't like there was a stigma, they'll make a trail riding horse, and I think there's a lot of these horses are better than that. What we probably don't want to undersell is that the men and women that have actually taken these on are well above average trainers. Yep. The normal programs are probably 4 to 6 weeks, and some of these guys have had them for 4 to 6 months. So these young horses, or off the track horses, are getting more like 6 months work. So they're getting an extended period of re-education by some of the best people in the country when it comes to ridden horses. But we want to actually see these horses find a home in real work situations or in competition. Amy Cupid's the young lady from
names leave me. I don't know how I get a job with talking with a microphone. I must say, sorry, Ames.
But no, the reality is, I think, even in the camp draft circles, Ian and I have talked about it. There's plenty of skeptics. Well, why would you even bother? Like, you won't get these horses to canter, let alone track cattle. And a lot of the guys saying, look, they've got natural. They'll track movement. They're an intelligent animal. The one thing I know, you hear that one that wants to revert back to a pace. If you've been, repetition of being rewarded for doing something a certain way, we've got to actually re-educate that horse to be rewarded for doing something different, doing what we wanted to do, and that's to canter, find that. And the guy's saying, look, they're starting to find a hip on him. That little horse of Ian's, like, he's naturally got a little bit of cow, and he will draw off his cattle. Like, he's got respect for a cow and gives ground, and there's some attributes that make them suitable for the sport.
I think it's great, and Ian, I really do appreciate it. I appreciate you doing this interview, because you're not really that keen on the media. They tell me Brett's a bit shyer than you, though. Is that right?
Never.
But no, I do. And I say this to all you guys, and Nutrient and Amy and everyone that's come up with this idea. From a harness person who eats and breathes harness racing, I just think what you guys have been able to achieve is just sensational, and showcasing our horses in a different light. And it's got so many people talking about it, which I think is great. So you might think that you're having a bit of fun and you're raising money for charity, which is also things that we must make sure people are aware of, and showcasing a different horse. But from my point of view, you're giving a horse that I love so much a different avenue of afterlife. Like, it's not trail riding, which drives me nuts. Just going for people go and get them. But they can do that. You can leave them out in the paddock for 6 weeks and go and ride them. But there's so many other things you can do.
I've seen this young horse or he's only a young horse that Ian's got. He's got the potential to make a good teenager, I reckon, would ride that horse with me at arm's length, and I think he's predictable, he's safe, he's honest, and he's got the ability for someone to have a lot of fun. Probably for the plug for us, that first Friday and Saturday in February is when we'll actually be into the second half of our sale program at Tamworth. Those horses will be for sale online. They'll be reserved at probably $3,000 will be the upset. You pay $3,000, you'll own that horse, and we're talking about what a good young gelding is in the camp draft world, or a stock horse at the moment. $6,000, $8,000, $10,000 to buy a gelding. So these are affordable. They're unreserved effectively. We just want to cover the base costs of them. And like I say, they've had an extended period with very good horsemen and women that have helped these horses actually learn. They're being asked to learn rather than being punished for not doing the right thing. So they've got a good rehoming program. And a lot of fun with money to be made for charity, like you say, at Tamworth.
Yeah, and I'm going to be there, so there will be I'll be keeping people up to date with it through Campbell's comments, and we'll get some interviews. We'll be able to showcase what they do as well. So I'm sort of looking forward to it as well. And I think you said it's a Saturday that they go under the hammer.
Yeah, Friday, Saturday online through Auctions Plus. So people can actually bid over that extended period while our performance horse sale is underway. Rather than confuse the market, we said, look, let people know. The key thing is when they go up for sale, people will see them pre-work on the Tuesday, Wednesday, and they'll also see them compete in a camp draft on the Thursday evening, and you'll be able to pick through which ones you like. But if you're out there, we're talking to some of even the station guys in the north saying, look, safe mustering horses for your first and second year jackaroos, or a horse that can do something on a property, or for whether it be a trail rider, pony clubber, or whether it is someone that wants to actually show the horse or take it to a camp draft. Team Penning, I think, like that little horse of Ian's, has got real potential for someone that wants to have a bit of fun on a weekend, and they'll be an affordable option.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Ian, thank you very much. Merry Christmas. I'll let you go. I'm going to keep talking to him for one sec, but you can actually sneak out. I just wanted to thank you very much. But I just want to quickly touch on today. You weren't with me. Yourself and Ian have been doing some other stuff for Nutrien Equine. I don't know how you have time. I've seen a few of the things you got going on here in the farm, but I've been able to get around to Matty Harris, Yerriby. I went to Dennis Howe, and I also went out to the Atworthy boys and all the rest. Everyone's so excited about the harness sales coming up and the excitement level, and there's some great drafts of horses getting around. It's actually super, isn't it?
Yeah, look, when you look at the split of the two sale catalogues, I think it's really balanced. There's good run of horses in both sales. I think it's great for us to have that early sale option. It's not just New South Wales horses going to Sydney. There's some really good horses coming out of Victoria that you and I did see some of those a couple of weeks ago. Catalogue will be out, should be out in the mail, getting some into the mail just before Christmas. Give people plenty of time to look at them. You've got them online with the online catalogue. But no, look, these local horses, I think the Riverina, it's a great place for harness racing, but it's also, look, we breed our stock horses here, but it's really good country to breed horses.
One of the things I want to make sure people are aware of is like getting out and about. It's easy in Victoria. A lot of the Victorians do the Victorian thing. They go around and all the rest. It's a 4-hour drive. I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I was here at 9, just after 9 o'clock into Wagga. It's a bit after 7 o'clock, but I've been video editing and doing other stuff. To get around to these farms and check them out, it's a no-brainer to do your homework and get behind it and actually do a bit of research. And I can tell you, the guys here will be super keen. Like, a lot of people don't get up here to actually see these horses, in the flesh and getting out and about them. And that's one of the other things I want people to be aware of. So that when they do fly into Sydney on the 20th, or they'll actually hopefully are there on the 19th, but the sale's on the 20th of February, that they actually have already seen them, they've done their homework, they know what they're going to do, and they're ready for it.
Yeah, look, and there's quality draft of horses. The stables you've mentioned. Yeah, there's some of the really good quality horses that we'll see in that Sydney catalogue in particular that we've got, with this group of vendors here. They're amongst some of the better horses in the catalogue. So I think you see, like I say, the Riverina, it's really equal distance Sydney, Melbourne for us where they place their horses. That early sale, I think, gives people that are looking to buy horses some really strong options, and they're not pushed hard. We've had a terrific season in the Riverina, so I think the same as what we saw in Victoria. The fillies have just done it so naturally on grass this year. And the people you refer to, they do a really good job. the trainers know they've got a horse that a lot of the work's done before they've got to put a set of hobbles on and start, that next part of their career.
I think also the other thing, and I've found it just through doing what I do with you, you build a relationship with these guys. If you do the hard yards, especially if you're a young trainer and you go and check these horses out and all the rest, they may not give you a horse the first year. But if you show your intent and keep going that way as well, going through it, you never know. Dennis Howe might give someone a very, very well-bred horse because he says, well, he's keen, he just doesn't have the bankroll, can't sell it for what I want it for, so he might lease it out to him. So I think there's a lot of other key components to it.
Yep. Yeah. Look, and look, we're lucky. Like I say, the Riverina's been a really strong, a strong area for the harness racing generally, and there's been some outstanding horses bred through here, and I think most of them, they want to see them out on the track. It's not that many years ago that every second farm between probably here and Coolum had one or two broodmares in the paddock. They're not there now. They're concentrated back to some really professional breeding operations and some outstanding horse flesh.
Absolutely. I'll let you go. I want to go home. But thank you very much. I'm going to say Merry Christmas to you, mate, because I don't think I'll see you before Christmas, but well done for what you're doing. It's going to be exciting. We've got February 20, April 3rd in Melbourne as well, so we've got plenty going on. There's going to be plenty more happening. I might be up probably just after Christmas. I'll get up to probably Craig Judd's and the Picker Boys, get up there and check out their horses as well, and a few others around, but just try and keep raising the awareness, I suppose, that these sales are on. They're going to be on our doorstep very, very quickly.
Yeah, and like I say, the rehoming, anyone that's out there in the standardbred world that wants to come up to Tamworth, I think we'll have a good roll-up of harness racing people that are going to come to Tamworth and see the performance horses, and I think it's a great opportunity for you guys to get to know other people in a different performance horse discipline that we want to see them own some horse flesh and have some fun racing as well. So the more people that can get up and actually get to know those guys, the more chance we've got to syndicate some horses that you guys are breeding.
Absolutely. Mark Barton, thank you very much. Beautiful day, beautiful place, the sun's setting, so all's good. Thank you very much, mate.
Yep, all the best. Merry Christmas.